Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Friday night is organ music night. What a disaster. We couldn't get the audio to work. The visuals were beautiful and perfect. Check this out. We've got angles. I have this angle. I have, oh, there's nothing there. I have that angle over there. Isn't that cute? What else do we have? We have this angle. That doesn't look very good because the lighting is incredibly wonderful, but check it out. Isn't that amazing? Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in the St. Mary's Basilica in the most beautiful part of the northwest part of Germany. We are in Kevelaer, and here I am at the 4 manual 100 and wie viele? Alles zusammen? 150 stops. 4 manuals, pedals, 150 stops. We have a huge organ at the back. We have an echo organ over here beside me, and we even have a tiny little choir organ over there. And tonight was going to be a concert until 10 o'clock, I think. Are we allowed to play a little bit longer? A little bit. I'm so sorry, folks. Getting everything set up tonight was such an incredible pain in the bum, and we don't know why. Check this out. Is it working? It should be. If I do this, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Boom! The box office is working as well. If you want to help us out, believe me, I need it tonight. I need it tonight. This has been crazy so far tonight. Right. Can you hear everything? Wow, very loud on your headphones. That's good, wonderful. Everything's working, finally. I've got microphones set up out there in the church, picking up the organ beautifully. We're recording everything tonight, so I'll be able to play around with it in the future and make sure that everything is really good. Let's continue. We have some very, very fun things to play with on this organ, and one of them is the most beautiful string department you've ever heard in any organ anywhere. This organ has got so many strings, it's basically an entire orchestra. Check this out. Now, hold on, I need to do this manually. Microphone off, organ on. Ave Maria zart. I think that's quite good with some string sounds there. Now, this is basically a 3-manual organ with a 4th manual. Does that make sense? These 3 manuals control the organ up there, the main organ. And there's an enormous number of stops up there. For example, the swell division. Wie groß ist das Schwellwerk nochmal? The swell division alone, 30 stops. Yeah, it's an enormous instrument in itself. But the 4th manual is dedicated. Now, can you see, well, actually, there. That's the little choir organ that you can see there. That's controllable from this thing as well. But up above it, there's what's called the auxiliary, if you like, the Fernwerk, the echo organ, whatever you want to call it. And when you're sitting here, to me, the echo organ is the big organ because it's miles away in front of me over there, and right beside me is the echo organ there, which is rather cute. Now, it in itself is also a rather lovely instrument, but it has some rather interesting features, and I think I want to show you that now. Yes, there we are. This is very interesting indeed. So what we have here, we are on the 4th manual. Again, I have some lovely strings. No, I don't. Where did they go? Oh, there they are. Sorry. They're on the 3rd manual. They're there. There's something special on the 4th manual. That's what I forgot to tell you. On the 3rd manual. And then down here, I've got some enormous flutes. And here, I have some more amazing flutes. But the trick is what I have up here. And it's a little tinkly number. Now, for you, that's going to be coming over the main microphones, which are over there. So you're going to be hearing that in a very distant way. If I couple it to the strings, suddenly we have a very special effect. I hope you could hear that. Somewhere over the rainbow on a very soft and gentle celesta, a celeste. Isn't that wonderful? Now that's not the only exciting toy we have on this organ. There are other bits and pieces, and for that I have to play a novelty number, and I have to thank Paul for this one. Now, a huge thanks, well, first of all, to all the organists here in Kevelaer, but particularly to Paul Lammers, who helped me out not only today, but he's been organizing this whole event for months now so we can get together, and finally it happened today. Thank you also to my friend French Horn, who is over there as well. He's also incredibly important getting all this together, because he is one of the best friends of the guy who made this organ, basically, Wolfgang Seifert, Professor Wolfgang Seifert, and French Horn and Wolfgang have been trying to get me here for a very long time, and it's finally worked out tonight. Funnily enough, Wolfgang, who was going to be here tonight, he's actually playing a concert down near where I live anyway, so that didn't work out. We've swapped places, basically. So that's kind of cute. And by the way, there's this really excitable fly who's been with us all day today. It's a big black fly, and he's been here all day flying around enjoying the organ music. It's rather good fun. Now, this is going to be fun. This is a piece of music involving that little choir organ. I showed you that a minute ago. Let me show you again. Press the right buttons and we've got it. So there you are, over there. Okay, see that over there? That's the tiny little choir organ. Now it's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stops. 10 stops, and it's playable from here. But to that, I've added some tinkly stops from the first manual. Some tinkles. I've added some tinkles from the pedal as well to beef it up a bit, and I've added some pedal from the echo organ up there as well. And the great thing about this is I can play some novelty music with it, and there's a special effect at the end. Get ready for this. Yep, this organ has bells. And they fit rather beautifully to fun, novelty music, just like that. Now, back to basics. Right at the beginning of the concert, once we got everything going, once my nerves settled and we got into it, I was able to show you the great crescendo. Now this crescendo, going from the softest of the string stops all the way up to full organ with all its magnificent stuff. So let me show you exactly what we've got here. There are lots of reeds on this organ. On the first manual we have a a trompeter 8 foot, and a tuba 16. Big, parpy, exciting reeds that really know how to blow your brains out. On the second manual, we have a lovely round trumpet. Now, you can probably hear in the recording there that trumpet sounds more direct than the great trumpet. There's a sort of logistical thing going on there. We'll explain that later. Up in the swell department, we've got some amazing 16, 8 and 4 foot reeds here as well. Again, a tuba 16, an 8 foot trompeter and a 4 foot clairon. And of course, because they're in a swell box, oops, excuse my fingers there. Up on the fourth manual, we have, what do we have up on the fourth manual? We have a trumpet 8 foot as well. And down on the pedal, we have a 4 foot, an 8 foot, two 16 foots, and a 32 foot. And again, we have a little bell effect to get that going. But the most exciting reeds of them all are the chamades, and there are no less than 3 chamade subs. Now they are full-on horizontal trumpets. We have a tuba mirabilis, 8 foot, which is nice and big. There's a 4 foot cor harmonique, a harmonic horn, which is very bright and very in your face. And then there's a 16 foot tuba magna, which sounds. And all 3 of those together, with some pedal reeds down there, make up the most unbelievable sound. And the most amazing acoustic you've ever heard. Now, there's a very interesting thing in this church that I've never come across before, and I still haven't worked out what's going on. The main organ is over there in the west end of the church. Absolutely beautiful thing. I'll blend, when I go and edit these videos, I'll put in some pictures of it for you. Absolutely gorgeous. And the sound flies out into the church. But here's the amazing thing. The reverberation is all over there. There's about as much church in that direction as well, and hardly any of the reverberation comes from there. I don't know how they do this. I haven't worked it out yet, but it's amazing. It really is amazing. Phenomenal, in fact, is the word we're looking for. Anyway, so back to this incredible crescendo, 150 stops, and obviously you don't use every single 150 all the time when you're doing your full crescendo. Some of them you would never be able to hear, but I'm building and building and building to the main sounds. And when we're in this church, there's one piece of music that we absolutely have to play. We're in St. Mary's Basilica. We started out with Segne du Maria, one of the main Marian hymns here in Germany. Paul played it this afternoon for a little service in the church. I played it at the beginning of the concert. I then played Ave Maria Zart. But the one you really have to play, and the one we all love, especially our friend Heiko over there, he knows what's coming. Wunderschön, prächtige. We have to do it. We have to do it. And there are some harmonies we have to add, and I think we know what's coming. They're both pissing themselves laughing over there already, but let's get on with it. Check this out. It's difficult not to get lost in the harmonies. Absolutely impossible almost not to get lost in the harmonies. Isn't that the most amazing crescendo you've ever heard? It just keeps on going. That's the amazing thing of these 150 stops. This fly's going to kill me by the end of now. It just keeps on going, keeps on going the whole time. It never stops. It's absolutely wonderful. It's quite something. Now, more of the toys in this organ, and there are so many. We could be here all night. If only we'd started half an hour earlier. If only we'd started half an hour earlier. This is an organ of the Romantic period. Actually, the organ that we're playing at the moment is pretty much, as it stands, 100 years old. Back in 1926. There's still a console upstairs on the organ loft. I've got pictures of it. I'll show you in another video. But back in 1926, Seifert, the amazing organ builder, put this organ together. And basically the organ we have here today is what was there in 1926. Now, during the war, this place was bombed to smithereens, and that organ, the fancy organ up there, that disappeared. It was put back in, wann kam das wieder? 2004, so 22 years ago. That organ came back in its original state, and various other bits and pieces reappeared. Some bits and bobs have been added to it. There was a papal visit, which is when they added the big trumpets and tubas, the enchimade stops and things like that. It's and to be honest, you know, there are a couple of things that are missing from the organ. A couple of things I would like to see. It needs a dolce with an unda maris. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. And it definitely needs what's known as a flute celeste. We've got all these gorgeous flutes here, but we need a flute celeste to give that ethereal, gorgeous sound that only a flute celeste can give. And it needs a French horn. It needs a French horn. It needs a Skinner French horn. So there's three things that this organ still needs. Here, the powers that be, if you're listening, you know what to do. There's still some space here for some extra stops. There's plenty space here to add some more bits and pieces. But because it's an organ from 1926, this is what I was trying to say, some of the reed stops are actually free reeds. They're like harmonium reeds. And I've put together a set of registrations here using only the harmonium reeds. And the organ literally does sound like a harmonium. This is going to start very quietly, but I think you might recognize it. Isn't that a cute effect? It sounds like an entire sort of orchestra of harmonia, which I think is rather amazingly good fun. I think it's rather amazingly good fun. How are we doing this evening, folks? Let me just, I can't really keep an eye on the old chit-chat here. It's quite impossible to keep an eye in charge of everything. But my goodness me, there's a lot of people been doing things tonight. 20 people have visited the box office. Thank you so much. I can't go in and find out who you all are, but your names are all on the screen. I'm looking there and I can see Alexander's name, I can see Stefan's name, I can see, who's that? It looks like Matthias's name, and some other names in there. Thank you all so much indeed for chipping in tonight. This has been an expensive get-together, this trip here. We're staying overnight, so there are hotels to be paid, there were travel costs involved and things like that. So thank you so much for chipping in. Are we going to hit our goal tonight of 30 tickets? I think we might. Let's see if we can do it. Now, while I was setting up earlier today, there were some people visiting the church, and it was almost impossible actually to get the organ set up in the time I had, because there were so many people coming in and asking questions. Paul was there helping them, answering their questions. But a lovely couple came in, and the girl in question was from Mexico, and she asked me for a request, and I'm very happy to play this request. She was there with her, was ihr Freund oder ihr Mann, weißt du das noch? She was there with her husband, her boyfriend, I can't remember. I think he was from Holland. I think he was Dutch. War der aus Holland? Er war aus Deutsch. Okay, he was from Germany, she was from Mexico. And originally she wanted me to play some Mexican Baroque organ music. Yeah, like I'm the expert for that kind of thing. But then she said, can you maybe do something jazzy? And the answer to that is, of course, yes. And she came up with this, a lovely little tango. See what you think, everybody. Bésame mucho. Pésame mucho. A beautiful piece of music. It's very close to 2200 hours, ladies and gentlemen, which means, unfortunately, we have to kind of stop soon. But I'm allowed a few minutes, aren't I? A little bit softer. Right, well, let's start with the really loud stuff then. If we're going to play an organ like this, and I'm going to play an organ like this, there's a certain kind of music I absolutely have to play on it, and, well, it's a very entertaining kind of music. I'll be back in a minute. the entertainer, Scott Joplin. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to have to pretty much wrap things up tonight. We're going to finish off with a very gentle little number involving bells. Bells? 2, a 1 and 2. There we are. Involving some bells and some goodies. We have to finish up, ladies and gentlemen, and there are very strict rules about making noise here. We're right in the middle of town in Kevelaer, and in the past there have been many visitors here from certain parts of the world, I won't say where, who love coming and playing all night long on full organ and never stopping, and eventually the neighbors got really annoyed and started complaining. So we are not going to outplay our welcome, as it were. Huge thanks to Paul for helping out today, also getting everything set up here. Thank you for calming my nerves. This is only water, I promise. Thank you to Heiko for helping out, setting up as well. They're going to help me put everything back together again, or are they going to run away and leave me to do it all by myself? They're nodding their heads. Buggers. We'll get it sorted out. Thank you all very much, ladies and gentlemen, for putting up with me. This was our first ever location stream. First time we left the studio to go and do a live stream. This is live. It is 22:05 on a Friday evening. This is live from Kevelaer. It worked. The technical side of it worked. The software side of it was causing a problem. But I think we have a solution for next time when we do something like this. We have to simplify it a little bit, but we're getting there. The network worked, the cameras worked, the lighting, we need to work on the lighting, but we've got everything set up here, and it's all right. It's good enough for the first time. It's a learning curve. We're getting there. Thank you so much for helping out this evening. Thank you for chipping in. We're up to 22 in the old box office list tonight. That's the best we've ever had. So this is maybe a sign that we need to go and play real organs again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I will see you all from home again on Sunday. There we are. There's Matthias G with another one, number 23. Thank you, Matthias. Even as I speak. Thank you very much there. Huh? There is einmal im Monat? Yeah? Ah, okay. Now, something very important here. Paul has just reminded me about this. This is the main church in Kevelaer, but just over there, yeah? It's there, over there. The candlelight chapel, the Kerzenkapelle. It's a beautiful, is it round or hexagonal, octagonal? It's a normal church. Oh, sorry, it's a normal church. I'm thinking of something else. All right. There's another church just over there. And in there is a lovely, lovely little organ that needs almost complete, well, it needs a good clean more than anything else, yeah? It's called the Candle Chapel. Why is it called the Candle Chapel? Well, Kevelaer is a huge pilgrimage town. People come from all over the world here on pilgrimage. And they visit this church, and they visit the Candle Church. Guess what they do when they go to the Candle Chapel? That's right, they light candles. What happens with candles? Particles. Particles flying around, sooty particles. Where do the sooty particles go? They go into the organ. Now, I have been told by Paul today, inside the organ, in the pipes, there are literally layers, inches of soot filling up every part of the organ, from the bellows, the wind trunking, to the pipes themselves. It's getting unplayable, and the organ wants to be restored. Now, the whole chapel needs a good clean. They need to get rid of all the soot. They need a good chimney sweeper, and the organ has to have a complete and utter clean out. Now, here locally, there is an organ society, the Kevelaer Organ Society, and they are very instrumental in keeping this organ in perfect working condition, keeping it clean as well. A lot of candles going on here as well, but they want to get the Candle Chapel organ done as well. So they are, at the moment, they are saving up as much as possible. Yeah, they're gathering funds and donations to get that organ seen to. And of course, there are regular concerts here in the church from around the year, maybe 20 concerts. 15 to 20 concerts a year here in the church. The most famous organists in the world come to play here. Hopefully I'll come here one day and play a live concert with an audience. They're going nodding, so that's fine, yes. I hope I'm not too old by the time I'm on the schedule. And I should be doing Mr. Rogers' music in the background, shouldn't I, when I'm doing this? That would be kind of cute. But yeah, check out the Organ Society here in Kevelaer. Maybe you would like to help them out. Maybe you'd like to come and visit Kevelaer. I would highly recommend it, not just for this place, but for all the other activities going on around here. It's absolutely gorgeous. I highly recommend it. Thank you again, guys. It's been wonderful. A thank you in absentia to Elmar, the main organist here, and of course to Wolfgang, the ex-organist here, just for this amazing experience, and both agreeing to have me here, let me do this. This is not normal. The church was locked up tonight so that we can come in here and do this. So thank you for a private audience, as it were, in this wonderful church. See you on Sunday, folks, for a normal night out back home, and then very soon we'll be doing this again. Can we come back and do it again in Kevelaer? Who wants us to come back and do it again? Say yes in the chat, and we'll see if we can come back and do this on a regular basis. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to leave you now with a soft and naughty piece of music to finish off. I just turned off my microphone. A soft and naughty piece of music to finish this evening's entertainment. Have a nice one. Have a good weekend. See you on Sunday. Night, night, everybody.